A very good evening. Thank you so much, Sanovar, for that very flattering introduction. Good evening, everyone. Avtarites, friends, and family. I'm going to start now. So, like what Sanovar said, please do pay attention, put your phones down. For those who don't know me, my name is Akshey. And for 25 years, I've lived with a very unique family dynamic. You all know I have a sister, Shivangi, but I've always maintained that I actually grew up with two siblings. Avtar was the youngest of the three of us. Now, to be clear, Amma didn't play favorites. She loved us all furiously and she worked tirelessly so that we all have great outcomes. But Avtar, being the youngest one, did require tremendous effort. But looking back, I realized that Avtar was also the most hardworking, the most committed, and the one that grew up to make us all look really, really good. Now, personally speaking, I literally grew up inside this company. My childhood is mapped not by good grades or lack thereof, for those who know, but by Avtar's milestones. I have such vivid memories of the old Alamar court office on Avai Shanmugam Saleh. I've spent hours in the office, sometimes being quiet, most times being a blocker to productivity. It's one of my most cherished memories, seeing the young company find its feet, watching the energetic founders and the new joiners slowly become Avtarites. I can speak for another half an hour on the games that I've played on the computers, the client and company conversations I was privy to, and the company's early wins that I had the privilege of witnessing. Some of them that really stays on top of my mind: the turnkey project for Chennai Container Terminal, the SCB second career project, the future group turnkey, the first Segway session, launch of AHCT, launch of Flexi Careers India, and of course, Bob. But the one thing I remember very vividly is the bell. There was a small bell mounted on the ceiling of the corner of the office, and it was part of the early culture code. Whenever the team successfully closed a position, someone would ring it, and it was the sound of victory. And as soon as someone rang the bell, the office would echo with congratulations. And to this day, whenever I hear a bell, whether it be a temple bell or my own doorbell, an inner voice will ring out saying congratulations. I'm truly privileged to have seen the Avtar gang celebrate, grow, and build the company which turned quarter of a century on December 1st, 2025. But I also saw why this company had to exist. We're celebrating 25 years of success, but we must remember that this started from a place of exclusion. My mother, Dr. Akshey Rajesh, a gold medalist MBA, landed her dream job at Citibank. She was on the fast track. But then life happened as it does, and family challenges emerged, and she needed flexibility. But the corporate world back then didn't have the framework to provide this flexibility. And she was forced into a career break that she did not choose. Most people would have been bitter, but my mother decided to build a business model around her lived experience. She decided that if the path doesn't exist, she will pave it. She built Avtar to ensure that no woman in India would ever have to choose between her family and her financial independence. And she applied the same philosophy to me. As many of you know, I am dyslexic. Growing up, the traditional education system often looked at me and saw a deficit. They saw what was broken. When the school wanted to fix me to kind of fit their mold, she fought to make the system understand me. She realized early on that my different way of thinking was a strength and not a weakness. And she's done the same very successfully so for the Indian women professional. When the corporate world looked at a woman returning from a break and saw a resume gap, Dr. Rajesh saw life experience. She saw resilience. She saw capability. She built Avtar on the fundamental belief that difference is an asset and not a liability. That bringing diverse people together is not a nice to do, but an essential core competitive advantage for the company. And this philosophy is why we are all here today. And that is why this is not just a company, it's a community. I look around this room and I see the people who practically raised me along with my parents. Umashanga Mama, Priya Auntie, Karthik Uncle, Ebi Anna, Roy Anna, RK, Shweta Akka, Veena Auntie, Guru Anna, Sadhan Anna, you are all such an integral part of my childhood. Many of you have been here for decades, You weathered the storms and rung those bells. You're the custodians of the culture that we are all celebrating today. Thank you for building this legacy. And thank you for putting up with Shivi and me as we ran around your desks and stopped you from doing work. And because of you, the impact has been, truly staggering. Over 100,000 women have re-entered the workforce because of Avtar's second career programs. And when we started the Best Companies for Women in India study, the women's workforce participation was around 25%. And over the last 10 years, across industries, we're now pushing close to 36%. Avtar has truly moved the needle on the Indian economy. But 25 years is not the finish line, it's the launch pad. Now we're looking at a future where Avtar transitioned from what used to be a single hall office to a public institution. As we actively work towards becoming a public limited company, we're doing something historic. We are taking the company that championed the public. And this is more than just stock tickers, this is about true nation building. India has a vision of a $10 trillion GDP within the next decade. And the goal is mathematically impossible if half the population are pretty much sitting on the bench. Avtar is the engine that ensures that India fires on all cylinders. We are here to industrialize inclusion. And we are here to unlock the full potential of this country. Amma, you took so many no's and turned it to a yes for hundreds of thousands of women. Appa, Shivangi, Rajshri, Vikram, Advi, and I are all so incredibly proud of your effort, intentionality, and empathetic, visionary leadership. You truly inspire me, Amma. On tough days, you're the one who keeps me going. And to the youngest and most high-achieving member of our family, Avtar, happy 25th birthday. Let's keep ringing that bell.